Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan. Now, New York has a new problem.
Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. That was a nothing trailer, wasn't it? I tell you, I should watch these trailers beforehand. But that was the trailer for tonight's film, Happy Friday the 13th. So what we're doing tonight, we're doing Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, one which is almost universally scorned, except by me, because I love it. I think it's a great film. I think it's a lot of fun. But that was the trailer for it. And luckily, it didn't give anything away, apart from Jason Goes to Manhattan, eventually. And Win Grace is here. Hello, Win Grace. I hope Manhattan likes it. I hope Manhattan does. Being taken by Jason. Right, so that's tonight's film. As I said, it's Friday the 13th. So, hang on, let me get sorted. So we're looking at Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube, and we're live on Rumble, and we're live on Twitch. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Right, so this is obviously the 8th film in the Friday the 13th series. The 7th with, well, technically the 6th with Jason Voorhees as the killer. Spoilers if you haven't seen the others. But it was directed by a fellow who I'd never heard of. Don't know anything else he's done. Rob Hedden. And he also wrote it. This was his first film. It had a $5 million budget and it grossed $14.3 million at the box office. The lowest at the time, probably still is, the lowest earning Friday the 13th film in the franchise, but it still made its money back. But anyway, and I think this film prompted Paramount to sell off the rights to whoever they sold it off to, New Line or I can't remember, but whoever. Right, and it stars people we've never heard of, apart from Peter Mark Richmond. And Kane Hodder, obviously. But we'll get to those. We will get to those. Speaking of Kane Hodder, let me make myself titchy tiny. There we go. Speaking of Kane Hodder, I met him a couple of times actually at conventions. Got his autograph. There we go. So got his autograph to Steve. Kane Hodder as Jason. There he is. And hang on, where's the? Where do I get to the next one? Where's the thing go? Hang on, we'll do it this way. There we go. We'll do it that way. Oh, it's there. It's there. It's at the side. Bloody Windows 11. I have no idea what I'm doing. And there we are at HorrorCon. Well, not we. Jason, Kane Hodder coming at me with a knife. It was my knife. And then there's me and Aidan. That's my son Aidan. And Kane Hodder stabbing me in the head. I've probably shown these before. But it was fun. It was fun back in the day. Right. Well, let's get on with the film. What we're going to say. Yes, we're live on all those things. Later on, I'll upload it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Links in the description. As I've links to my 2 books, they're down there. Give them a whirl. Yes, he stabbed me in the head. Yes, well, I've got a thick skull. It didn't get in very far. Anyway, yes, he borrowed it. He borrowed the knife. He said, "Oh, can I borrow that?" Did the thing where pretended to stab me in the head, and somebody took a picture of it. And they said, "Can I just borrow this for a minute?" And he went round killing people. Not really, but it was a lot of fun. Right. So let's get on with the film, shall we? As usual, I'll not be just playing the film because I'll get into trouble. So we'll go through it in a series of stills. May have to play the odd little snippet of a clip, and I'll try and do a bit of info on the way as I'm describing the film. Right. So make myself teachy tiny again. There we go. And add the film. Right, off we go. I can't remember if I muted it. I have now. Yes, it was a tragic massacre. Yes, it was. That day in, I can't remember where it was now. I think it was HorrorCon in. It's classed as in Rotherham in South Yorkshire, but it's closer to Sheffield. Not that anybody cares, but it was a lot of fun that day. And also met, I think it was the same one. We met Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead. Aidan had his picture taken with him. And I don't know if we've been to a couple, so I've mixed them up. We've also met, I forgot her name now, Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, and another one. Well, Part 1 and Part 3, and new Wes Craven's New Nightmare, that one. Who else did we meet? Yes, and I met I forgot his name now. John, I forgot his name. He plays the baddie in the Wolf Creek films. Met him as well. And he called me a C word. Actually wrote it on the autograph. Anyway. Right, let's get on with the film. So we're just looking at a blank screen. So off we go. So the Paramount logo. There we go. Because what was it? A studio series were Friday the 13th. But anyway, here we are. There's New York with the World Trade Center sadly no longer there. So off we go. And there we see Times Square. This film is famous for not actually being in New York very much until the end. They're showing it at the beginning to get the money's worth. They filmed a big scene in Times Square on that traffic island there, I think, that they filmed it on. But as you can see, there's a Batman logo there, because I think this was filmed in probably 1988, and Tim Burton's Batman came out in 89, so there's probably an advert for it. Or it could have been filmed in early 89. I don't know when filming took place. I'll find out for you. Does it say? Does it say in the production? Filming. Oh no, it was shot in April 89. So that's why there's a Batman logo there. Right. So anyway. By the way, I wonder how when you film at Times Square, particularly for a movie, there's obviously out there to make money. Hello, Josh Temple. Josh Temple's arrived. There he is. Welcome to the show. I'm not the Def Leppard thing. Where were I? Oh, Times Square. If you're filming a movie at Times Square, do you have to get permission to show all the ads? That's the billboards and neon signs and all that stuff. Do you have to get permission from the people that have bought that sign, or is it just if you pay for an ad in Times Square and somebody's filming a movie there, you are giving permission to them to plug your wares, so to speak. Anyway, I don't know. So anyway, so there we go. So it's just showing us some New York stuff. We meet these, as they're described by the director, urchins later on. There we go. Missed him. Where is he? There we go. Peter Mark Richmond, who we'll see later on. Win Grace knows who he is. I bet he'll tell us immediately what he's from. We'll get to it. Kelly Hu, and I think it's her first big movie. Well, technically, big movie role. Obviously, she went on to superstardom. I don't know very much. Anyway, so we see a chap getting mugged. We meet these two again later on. There we go, and we see. Oh, we got Fiona Jackson, wherever she is. And we meet this barrel again later on, and that rat, but it doesn't look well as that rat when we meet it again later. Anyway, she was in the Orville, was she? Fiona, I forgot already what it was. Oh, Kelly Hu. Oh yes, Kelly Hu were in the Orville once. She played an admiral, didn't she? Yes, she did. Anyway, so there we go. Here's a diner. Somebody with an eye patch on there. Yeah. And that is the director's sister, by the way. The subway. Come on, get on with it. Oh, them two again. We meet them again later on. Statue of Liberty. By the way, all the stuff that they filmed in New York, all the stuff like this, they actually went and filmed it. It's not like stock footage. You thought they might have, gone cheap and just got some stock footage, particularly of the, Statue of Liberty and that. But they didn't. They actually went out in a boat and filmed it. So there we go. Right. So there we go. Written and directed by Rob Hedden. Never heard of him. Don't know what else he's done. Right. So we begin at Camp Crystal Lake, as you can see, this sign that's all a bit done in. This is actually filmed in, I think, somewhere near Vancouver, British Columbia, up somewhere, and it is actually a scout camp, so apparently. But that's by the by. We're here for this boat. There we go. This boat's arriving, and this young couple that's in love. I've forgotten the names already. Just tell us. Susie or something, I think. Hang on, does it tell us? So I'm going to have to go to all cast and crew now because it doesn't tell us. I've seen it somewhere. Where are we? Right. Susie. Yes. Tiffany Paulson as Susie and Todd Schaffer as Jim. That's who we're seeing there. They're not long for the film, but obviously they're getting down to it on the boat. There we go. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? I don't think there is any nudity in this. A bit of side boob, but there's no, I don't have to be really careful. And there's not actually that much gore, to be honest. It's another one of those films that fell foul of the MPAA. Now just called the MPA. For some reason, they've dropped the America bit. Don't know why. But it fell foul of those. Apparently, the shots, lots of super gory kills, but the MPAA wouldn't let them use them, so they'd tone it down. It's another film where you think, well, why isn't that footage available for a unrated version? Anyway, right, so it goes and drops the anchor while they're going to get down to it. So the anchor goes down and it just happens to land on a danger 3,000 volts cable, as luck would have it. So they're getting down to it. And he hears telling all about Jason Voorhees, the stories of Camp Crystal Lake, aka Camp Blood, that Jason Voorhees was supposed to have drowned as a child, and his mother went off on a killing spree, and then Jason came back, and all that stuff. You know the tale. There he is. He's telling her all that. While he's telling her all this, the anchor's rubbing up against this electricity cable. There it goes. And sparks go flying down. So there we see Jason there from the end of the previous film. If you watched, yes, somehow Jason returned. Yes, he did. Oh dear. Much like Emperor Palpatine. But yes, he's there from the end of the previous film, Part 7, The New Blood, I think. If you remember, at the end of Part 7, that was the one that had the final girl had psychic powers. She used her psychic powers to rip off Jason's mask. And then her father came back at the ghost, quote, of her dad came back out of the lake and dragged Jason down, wrapped him in chains and dragged him down to the bottom of the lake. And he's been there ever since with no mask. I did actually have to go and check because I saw at the beginning of this film he didn't have his mask. And I thought, did he lose his mask in the last film? And I went back and checked, and yes, he did. Used her psychic powers to make his mask come off. Anyway, so there we go. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Hang on. Pressing the wrong button. There we go. I actually like this electric effect. It's old school 80s, movie electricity, isn't it? Super blue. I really like it. So Jason comes back to life. There he is, look, coming back to life. There we go. And they're getting down. They hear a noise, so he goes to check it out. And she's saying, "No, where is he?" And she goes to check. And we think Jason's going to get her. But he doesn't. Hang on. She gets stabbed, but it's not Jason. It's Jim being silly with a hockey mask on and a fake knife. Because he's an idiot. She just looks at him. I'd have just kicked him in the balls, to be honest. Anyway, there you go. He leaves the hockey mask on the what do they call it? The wheel, the steering wheel. Is that what they call it? It doesn't sound right, does it? And they get back down to it. He just happens to have a harpoon gun on his boat. Do you have to have a harpoon gun on a boat? I've no idea. But he's got one and a net. Maybe he's planning on going, harpooning in Camp Crystal Lake. Don't know why. But that's there anyway. But then Jason arrives. Here he is, comes plodding down the steps. Have I missed the bit where he's picked up the hockey mask? Go on. Come on. Never mind them. No, probably gone too far. We're going to show it now. Come on. Never mind them. Never mind his bottom. I'm still not showing it. Anyway, Jason gets the hockey mask. And he comes plodding down the stairs. There he is in all his glory. Has picked up the harpoon gun. Knows how to use it. I wouldn't know one end from the other if I'd picked up a harpoon gun. But he knows how to load it and everything. Of course, Josh Temple has one. Of course he has. So he's going to harpoon a mountain lion, no doubt. Oh, dear. Anyway, I believe you as well. I do honestly believe you. So they're getting down to it. Jason, she sees Jason's like, oh no, and then he fires a harpoon gun at her. Some of these scenes in this film, particularly with this harpoon, I was thinking, are they thinking of doing it in 3D? Because there's some bits where they like wave things at the camera, but I don't know. Anyway, he fires it at her and it just misses her. And apparently in real life, when they actually did this, she was terrified. Obviously they did it, it's on a wire, going behind the wall, and they just pull it into the wall. No, it wasn't going to hit her, but she was still terrified. I have some harpoon beer, if that counts. Oh, very good. Yes, it does count. Yes. Sounds like a plan. I'll have to try it. What, harpoon beer or harpoon in a mountain lion? Or both. You can try both, can't you? Anyway, misses her, so she goes running off. So he thinks, right, I'll get Jim instead. So he gets Jim and stabs him with the rest of the harpoon gun. There we go. So he ends up all gooey. That's not his guts. At least I don't think it is. I think it's just the elastic part of the harpoon gun. So that's the end of Jim. Jason goes thumping around and he goes to find, I forgot her name already, Susie. She's hiding in the hold or whatever the hell it is. But he finds her, obviously. He's omniscient and he's everywhere. He's like Q with Jason, particularly in this film. Or Droopy. He just pops up everywhere. He does a lot of teleporting in this film. Anyway, there we go. He sees her down there. She's just going, no, 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 trying to get away. And let's see if I can. Does this is what I'm on about. Were they thinking of making it a 3D film? Because he's really slow at that look. Look, pointing it. As though he's doing it in 3D. Anyway, he gets her. There we go. Stabs into a fake torso, and the actress said she liked that fake torso because its boobs were bigger than hers. But anyway, that's the end of Susie and Jim. Susie and Jim. And then obviously he's obviously pulled up the anchor and started the boat and set off because we cut to presumably somewhere on the coast. Camp Crystal Lake is now attached to the sea, by the way, in this film. When we arrive, we meet her, whoever the bloody hell she is. I don't know. Name bloody names. Colleen Van Duysen. I don't know how to pronounce it. Played by Barbara Bingham. She is a teacher. She's a teacher of the final girl in this film. Rennie, played by Jensen Daggett, who I've never heard of again. But there she is. So she's Rennie's teacher. She must be an English student because she gives her a. Here we go. It shows it. She gives her a fountain pen, not a fountain, but you know what I mean. It is a fountain pen, isn't it? that apparently Stephen King used in high school. But she gives her that. She gets given a lot of presents in this film, does Rennie, for some reason. But so she's got that. She got old hands, hasn't she? Old wizened, bloody hell. Yeah, that's an insert, and it's not really. I forgot the name already. Jensen Daggett. I'll have to have a look at her hands later because they look old, don't they? With the arthritic hands. Oh dear. Anyway, so she says thank you, and says you're my best student. Blah blah blah. They have a hug. Then we see this boat arrives. Obviously, Jason can pilot a boat. This arrives, and we see this. This is one of the deckhands of the Lazarus that we're going to see a lot of, the ship. And he sees this boat arrive. Maybe he sees the blood in the window. I don't know. But he knows Jason's back somehow. I don't know. He just does. He's what they call the sage or whatever. We're all doomed. He's that fella. The man at the gas station is that. That one. Anyway, so they arrive at the boat. There we meet Mark. I forgot his name already. Mark Peter Richmond, whatever that bloody hell his name is. Peter Mark Richmond. There we go. Who's been in a million things, lots of TV. He either usually plays a baddie or a completely unlikable person. He has played goodies a couple of times, but he's completely unlikable in this. He were in, I don't know if most famous films would be. He were in Agent for Harm, which were like a really rubbish James Bond rip-off. I think Mystery Science Theater 3000 did that one. And he were also in Star Trek: The Next Generation, the season 1 finale, the Neutral Zone. He were in that, and he's been in lots of other stuff as well. Anyway, he's playing Rennie's uncle, Uncle Charles. He's like a poor man's Ricardo Montalban, is it? I don't think so. But he's not a nice person. But he's like the headmaster, but the principal. I don't know what the hell his title is. But he's also Rennie's uncle and her legal guardian because her parents died in a car crash and he's raised her from childhood. But they don't seem to get on very well. And it explains why later. Anyway, so they're rowing. He says, you shouldn't be bringing her and all that. And, she shouldn't be coming because she's afraid of, and we don't know why. It turns out she's afraid of water. Anyway, then we cut to the bridge. This is Sean, I think. I'm going to have to check again. Yes, Sean Robertson. He's the hero of the film. He was actually supposed to be played by somebody else, and I can't remember his name. I did look it up. Hang on. I can't remember. He was actually supposed to be played by somebody else, but that person got rid of after filming a few scenes. And there is a scene with the previous actor still in the film later on. I'll show you later. But he got let go because the other actor were a bit too gay and didn't have any chemistry with Rennie, the actress that plays Rennie. So they dumped him and got Sean in, got this actor in, who is called Scott Reeves. Has he done anything? I don't know. Let's have a look. See what else he's been in. He looks like, that's been done a lot of TV by the looks of it. He's a country music singer as well. General Hospital, Young and the Restless. Yeah, TV. He's a TV actor. You can tell. He wants to know how his stocks are doing. Damn it. Yeah, well, I'm sure he does. I've no idea what you're talking about. Wind Grace. Anyway, it turns out Sean here is the son of the ship's captain. There he is, Admiral Robertson, who is now, obviously must be in his retirement or something, and is now just piloting a ship up and down with a load of school kids on. By the way, they're using the ship for like a graduation ball sort of thing. Cruise, that's it, a graduation cruise. And there's loads of kids on. Well, not loads, but quite a few kids on. But we don't see a lot of them, and they just dispense with them later on in the film. We'll get to that. Anyway, so Sean's dad wants him to pilot the ship out of the harbour. So he says, let's get on with it. I'm handing over control of the ship or whatever to Captain Sean Robertson, and he's no idea what to do. Oh, this is giving him a gift of the sextant he used when he was young. So but he doesn't know what to do. He's not nautical at all. He gets it all wrong, and his dad's all disappointed, but he's not angry or anything, And he does actually say later on that he shouldn't have pushed him. So, but Sean goes off in a huff. But then, Jason's arrived. Jason's arrived on the boat. Right, so off they go. I don't know where it's supposed to be. I say it looks very Canadian, doesn't it? Looks very British Columbia-y, which it is. But it's supposed to be on the East Coast. But he's nautical, yes, as opposed to nautical. Anyway, so he's gone off in a huff for Sean, and then he meets this. Has he got a bloody name? I have no idea. Let's have a look. No, just called Deckhand, played by Alex Diakun. Diakun, don't I pronounce that? Encounters him, and he says, "This voyage is doomed, doomed." And Sean says, "Tell me about it." So anyway, so they're on the way. They're off. By the way, this boat, this ship, whatever you want to call it, I think it's technically classed as a ship, isn't it? Hasn't it? Because it's got lifeboats on. It's a ship if it's got other boats attached to it, like lifeboats. But if it hasn't, it's called a boat, which is why they call submarines boats, apparently, because they don't have lifeboats, do they? Anyway, whatever. Right, so this is the ship, the Lazarus, and apparently it's supposed to be a lot bigger on the outside. They did have a ship that they booked or whatever, but something cropped up and they couldn't use it for whatever reason. So at the last minute, they had to get this one, which were a lot smaller. So you never see it apart from a model shot, but you never see it in its fullness. You either see it just from the front or from the back or in the middle. You never see it all because it's apparently not very big. And the interior of the ship, a lot of it were actually shot on the ship, and the interiors were shot on another ship called the St. George. And then there were a couple of scenes shot in studios. But anyway, most of it was shot either on this ship or on another ship called the St. George for the interiors. Anyway, right, so off they go. Right, there we go. Graduation cruise. So there we see lots of kids, but there's only like, I don't know, 6-ish of kids that the ensemble kids, including Kelly Who and people like that. But we see all these others in the background. And we're watching it thinking, what happens to all these others? And then it tells us later on. It shows us. I'd forgotten. So they're getting up to stuff. They're playing whatever the hell this game's called. Shove Halfpenny. I don't know. He's doing some shooting at clay pigeons. And they're having a disco. All having fun, look, on this cruise. They're having kissing and stuff because it's the love boat. I don't know. So he's still moping. But then he sees Rennie. He says, "Hello, Rennie." He's obviously in love with her. There she is. And he gives her a gift. As I said, she gets lots of gifts in this film. So he gives her... What was it? It's the bloody thing. What was it? Anyway, it's a necklace. It's a... God's sake. It's a Statue of Liberty necklace. That's what it is. There you go. You can see it now. See it now there. Better check and make sure we're not getting done. No, we're fine. We're fine. Is she wearing? 2 different vests, probably. Could be. I don't know. I think it's just one. I don't know. Does it matter? I wouldn't be surprised. Oh dear. She's got nice hair though. I do like her hair. Anyway, so there we go. So she's got a gift off him. She's got a, and both of these gifts actually, the gifts that she's given actually play a part in the film. The pen gets used later on, and the Statue of Liberty necklace also features again later. But so they're all happy and kind of in love, I suppose. But Uncle Charles looks on disapprovingly. This is the radio mast of the ship, which comes into play later on. So a bit of foreshadowing of that radio mast there. So he going to have a chat with Rennie, and you know, she wasn't supposed to go, and then she decided at the last minute, but he's just concerned. He's not upset, he's concerned. And then we cut to a chap with a camcorder, a big massive 80s camcorder, and he's filming JJ, who I think's the prettiest actress in the film, but we don't see much of her. But as you can see, she's a guitar player. She's got a Gibson Flying V, but it's not. It's supposed to be, but it's not, because they're really expensive, and they didn't want to get one broken, so they bought a really cheap one and made it look like a Gibson Flying V. So she's playing away. There he is. He's called Wayne, by the way, and he's in love with another character, but she's anyway practicing her guitar. She wants to be a rock star, obviously, and I think she's super pretty. I do. So she says to him, "You're going to come down and film it down in the engine room because it's got great acoustics and all that." So he says, "Yeah, I've got to do something first." And then she says, "Oh, you're still mooning over Tamara, however you pronounce it, who's another student that we'll meet shortly. He's in love with her." But anyway, but off she goes down to the engine room to practice her guitar down there. He's still wanting her to get off the ship, but you know, he doesn't want to get off yet. And we learn why she's scared of water, and we learn why later on. And she has visions as well, but we will get to that. Right, so she's down in the engine room, or whatever it's called, playing her guitar, giving it all the shredding. But then I think Jason arrives now. She hears some noises. There we go. We see Jason arrive. She runs away, puts her guitar down, then runs away. Jason does a bit of teleporting now, because pardon me, she runs away down these stairs, and somehow, oh, for God's sake, Jason's right there in front of her. Like I say, he's like Droopy, isn't he? Off the cartoon dog. Pops up everywhere. You're flossy. So there he is, and he's going to whack her with the guitar. So that's the end of JJ, my favourite person in the film. Right. So he's off and running. is Jason. Well, he wasn't at the beginning, but on this particular ship, he's off and running. Right, so Rennie and her dog. I forgot to mention she's got a dog, and I forgot his name. Does it say the name of the dog? Toby the dog, played by Ace, according to the IMDb. Right, so she's in a cabin, talking to Ace. Jason's walking about. All right, this is actually this is one of the things that was shot in studio. They built this, this little part of the ship in the studio because for this shot here, they're going to go through the portal. You can actually see there's actually a line there. Can you see it? Just make it out there. There's a line. The camera goes through the portal, and obviously they couldn't do that on a real ship. As you see, the camera goes in, and I'll just play it, sod it. As you see, the camera goes through the portal. Obviously, no glass in it. We see Rennie's in there. it carries on going. It's all in one shot. Look, obviously they couldn't do that on the actual ship, so they shot this in a studio, and as the camera went through the porthole, as I said, there was a line that you could see the join. They pulled it apart, so the cameraman and all that could get in. So we see Rennie's getting changed, and then she hears Jason's voice going, "Mummy!" He looks round. It must be real because Toby sees it as well. Don't know why he's got a scarf on. Don't know, but he has. And she looks to the porthole, and Toby's seen. It's not going to show us, is it? No, didn't tell you. Ah, there we go. And she sees young Jason drowning. And obviously, they filmed that with young Jason, who's played by the editor's son, by the way. Filmed him in water, up against a glass thing, and then superimposed it in this porthole. And as we see him, as the film goes on, even though there's time jumps in this film, it's all like flashbacks, but as we go on in this film, it gets more, it deteriorates. There's young Jason. He looks pretty normal there, doesn't he? But as it goes on, his face starts getting more, done in as it goes on. Even though there's a flashback, and he looks even more done in that than he does there, but never mind. So she's like wondering, what am I seeing? But it must be real because Toby bloody saw it as well, and he goes running off. Right, then we cut to Julius. This is Julius. He is a boxer, and he's having a sparring match with whoever this is. And so they're fighting away, and they're all being all manly and boxingy, giving it all. Oh, and this is Tamara and Kelly, who don't know the name of her character, to be honest. Eva Watanabe. They're watching from above, saying, "Oh, look at them muscly men." That's what they're saying. Anyway, so they're having fun until he knocks him out. Oh, ooh, ooh, ah. There we go. Oh, there we go. She says, "Gorgeous guy at 10 o'clock." I think this is one of the crewmen. Yeah, there he is. They're mooning over him. Then Wayne encounters Uncle Charles. He says, "Have you seen my daughter?" And he says, "Yeah, I think she was so and so," and blah blah blah. That's the end of that. Then down below somewhere, yes, pugilists. That's what they were. They were pugilisting. Somewhere down below, Tamara and I forgot her name already. Eve. Did I say Eve or Eve? My bloody memory. Eve. I tell you. Tamara and Eve are doing some recreational activities. Well, Tamara is anyway. So she's got a little glass, They're taking drugs, kids. Don't do it. But she offers Eva some, but obviously she doesn't want to take any. And it's looking very nice. Is young Kelly, who pity they've given her bloody awful clothes. Anyway, never mind. But and there we go. This Kelly who's saying if she get caught, apparently she had this big backstory that were explained earlier on in a deleted scene that, as I said, she's up for a science scholarship. I don't suppose it's important, but anyway. So just as they're about to start taking some drugs, Rennie appears and interrupts them. And she says she's looking for a dog. Have you seen it? No, I haven't. Yes, drugs are bad, okay. South Park. It's got to be South Park, hasn't it? And they said no, right? So off she goes. But then Tamara thinks, that Rennie will grass him up to Uncle Charles. Because as luck would have it, Charles arrives. I forgot his bloody last name now. I forgot his blooming last name. McCulloch. I'll still call him Charles. Charles McCulloch. Anyway. Right, so they're still getting down to it. But she's not going to. Kelly Who's not going to take any drugs. But then Charles arrives, and they all stand to attention. What are you doing? You're not taking drugs, are you, young ladies? Oh no, I'd never do anything like that. So there you go. Well, then he tells Tamara, "You better have your biology project. I'll be calling by your stateroom. I mean cabin. In 15 minutes, you better have your biology project ready, or I'll be phoning your parents." They're on the bloody cruise. I thought they graduated already. Anyway, never mind. But it says so they're going to meet again shortly. But now she thinks, because he arrived, she thinks that Rennie dobbed them in. So she's out for revenge now. Meanwhile, this fella, no idea what he's called, is apparently the bloke that were boxing Julius a few, not so long since. Anyway, he's in the sauna now. And I think this were what they call it, an added scene. They wanted something else. So they thought, well, we'll have this scene with the sauna. I think they needed an extra kill or something. So he's in the sauna, chilling. And then Jason arrives, obviously. He hears him come in and he thinks it's Julius. And he says, no hard feelings about that, but a good match, Julius, and all that, blah, blah, blah. Out looking. And Jason picks up one of the rocks from the, whatever they call it, and just rams it into this young fella's chest. Here he comes, look. Screaming and groaning, as you would. And then Jason leaves him. There you go, giving it all that. And then Jason walks away, leaving a dead kid, because that's what Jason does. A dead young man. Right, so what's happening next? Can't really remember. They're talking. They're on deck. They just happen to be walking by a bit where there's no railing, and talking about this, that, and the other. And then Tamara comes and pushes her off and claims it were an accident, as we'll see. Then she walks up. Oops! Oh, not a very good safety, is there, on this ship? I think that Admiral needs to have a word with him about his health and safety record. So anyway, I mean, even if there is gaps in the railing, they should have chains or something up, shouldn't they? But anyway, never mind. Not that I know anything about ships. Anyway, so she's fallen. She's off. She's in the sea. Surely now it just shows it. So this ship is obviously not moving because she's just there for ages, splashing about in the water. Mrs. Van, whatever her name is, chucks in the there you go, the ring thing, life ring, whatever the hell they're called. But she goes under, and there we go. And she sees young Jason again, looking a little bit more, Jasonified, a little bit more deformed. That's the word I'm looking for. So he's pulling her down. But she gets back up. And Sean arrives. He leaps in. There you go. He leaps in to the rescue, and they pull her up. And Tamara was saying, "Oh, that were cool and funny." And Kelly, who's not impressed, so she says, "I'll see you later." I'm sure that's an OSHA violation, not having the chain there. Yes, it probably is. It probably is. Should be reported with the Admiral Robertson. I don't think he's a real admiral. Probably bought his admiralcy off. Well, the internet didn't exist then. Mail order. He got a mail order admiralcy, didn't he? Anyway, so they're getting back up. She's fine, and everybody says, "Oh, she's fine. She's okay. Go back to what you do. She's fine. She only fell off a bloody ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, but she's fine, even though she probably got hypothermia or whatever." And she said, "I can't swim." I said, "No shit, Sherlock." But then she goes. She asks her, "Well, didn't you ever find time to learn?" It's not that simple, which we'll learn later on. Jason is only here to check for safety violation. Exactly. He's doing a service. That's what he's doing. Oh dear. Right, so obviously Uncle Charles arrives and scolds everybody. I know what's best for my niece, etc. Stay away from her, and all that humbug, etc. He's here again. You're all gonna die. Wonder what these mean. These flags, obviously signal flags, aren't they? I wonder what they mean. Don't know. Right. So what's happening next? I think we're with. Oh yes, she's gone to the bathroom. Has Rennie, and she turns on the sink, and then goes. She sees all blood coming out of the faucet or tap into the sink. So she screams, then look at the mirror, and then we see ping, a hand come out of the mirror, which is cool how they did that. Go back to it again. Now we see the. There we go. They actually did this with mercury. They got some mercury in a bowl, and just shoved from underneath. Just shoved a fake hand, not a real hand. Shoved a fake hand through. And it's an effective. It's a good effect, isn't it? I think it is. Anyway, young Jason's getting it again. Even more deformed now. As the film goes on, every time we see him, is a bit more deformed. Yes, it is cool. It's a cool effect, isn't it? Cool effect. Reminiscent a bit of what Sam Raimi did in Evil Dead. He did a similar thing in Evil Dead, but didn't use mercury, did he? Just used water, didn't he? But there was a similar thing there. Right. Right. So he's she obviously faints or whatever. Right. So Uncle Charles has gone to see Tamara, whatever, for the science project. Obviously, she's got other things on her mind. That bloody water will get you shut down for sure from the health inspector. Yes, it will. Yes. I tell you, it's a health and safety nightmares, this ship. Anyway, she's giving him champagne. So, where have you got this from, young lady? And he said, why, I packed it. And they said, where's your biology report? And obviously, she's got it, as we see, she undresses. And there you go. She's got it, painted it on her body. And, hang on. That mercury looked pretty calm. No rapids at all. No rapid until the hand came through. Hey, thanks for the plug. Thanks for the plug. We can't see my camera. There we go. Come here, you bloody thing. Right, where were we? Yes, she's painted her, this is her biology report. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. Her esophagus, maybe. There's a heart, obviously. Got to move up. Don't worry, she's not in the nude. Apparently, the actress, who is called, I can't bloody remember anything. Where is she? Tamara Mason, Charlene Martin. She was really worried about this, apparently. And another scene later, more particularly another scene in a bit, but she worried about it because she didn't think she was, her body were good enough, and she was didn't think she was attractive. And the director says, "Don't worry about it. You're gorgeous." There we go. She's got a stomach. Don't know what that's pointing at. Well, I do, but it's not pointing at her stomach, is it? But he said, "Now you stop that, young lady." Oh my goodness! But then she grabs him, kisses him, pushes him onto the bed, and both moaning. But young Wayne is videoing it. Naughty. Anyway, he says, "Get off me," because it's, he's genuinely, doesn't want anything to do with it. But pushes her off. He says, "That's it. You're going back to high school. You're going to spend another year in high school. I'm, off this boat immediately." He's huffing and puffing, and then he sees Wayne. As he Wayne hands her the tape. They're going to, use it for blackmail purposes. And he says, but he still, he won't give in. He's not saying, oh, well, in that case, you've got an A. He just says, oh, we'll see about this and all that. And goes storming out. So anyway, she sorts herself out, and Wayne has a little drink of champagne and thinks, I'm going for this. Because remember, he likes Tamara. He says, I've had the hots for you since whatever, first grade or whatever. Hang on. Does he say here? In a minute. He says, I've had the hots for you since fifth grade or whatever. And she like goes, okay. And then says, I would really love to stay and chat, but she boots him out. And he says, well done, Wayne, you're an asshole. I thought, well, no, she were really. He were just laying it out on the table, wasn't he, so to speak? He thought, I'm going for it. And it didn't work, but bless him. I wouldn't have even got that far because I'm useless. I'm useless with women. Anyway, right, so we cut to a model shot. This was actually filmed in a tank, obviously, and they used a place in Vancouver, I forgot to call it, a wave tank that creates waves of varying, magnitudes. So they did this with a model shot in that wave tank. Right. So here we go. This is the shot that she was worried about, nude, because the script called for nudity. She said, "I'm not sure about it." And director said, Rob Hedden said, "Oh, don't worry, we're doing it. You'll be through a curtain. You won't really see anything." She went, "I don't know though." So he said, "So he stripped off." He said, "Right, okay." So he stripped off, and he got in the shower. And little did he know the crew were actually filming it. So that's in the documentaries on the Blu-ray of him having a shower, stripped off. He's kind of got his trousers pulled down a bit. You can see his bum and all that. But that made everybody laugh, and so she did it. She did it in the end, but you don't see anything. So she's having a shower. She gets out, but then Jason arrives. By the way, we saw him earlier. So hang on. He poked his head round the door. Just a minute. Here we go. As young Wayne walks away, Jason comes out this door, pops his head out the door. Hello, I'm Jason. So he's going to get Tamara now. So he goes in, and she can hear him moving about, and she sees him. Look, she opens the door. Oh, I've gone too far. No, back. It's supposed to be going back, not forwards. Doing. She hears somebody coming, and I think she might think it's Wayne again, but she looks and she sees it's actually Jason. So I'd be like, what the bloody hellfire? So she closed the door. She's been really calm. She's just, listening at the door. It's actually really quiet. There's no music or anything. And the director in the commentary likens it. It's not the first time in this film. Again, in the moment, he likens it to Hitchcock. I thought, Hitchcock, mate. Come on. But, there's a jump scare coming up. So it's all quiet. And then that. He shoves his arm through the door and grabs her. And he throws her into the mirror. Here we go. Hang on. I've gone too far. Here we go. There you go. That was close, wasn't it? Throws her into the mirror. That's a fella, that. I think it's actually a bloke, that, isn't it? I bet it is. Into the mirror. It's a stunt person. It might be just a stunt woman. I don't know. It's a stunt lady. Goes into the mirror. This is the real Tamara. She's obviously hurt. And Jason comes in, grabs the broken glass from the mirror. Again, the director's saying, "Oh, we're doing this. We did this like the shower scene in Psycho. Yeah, you don't actually see anything." I thought, Hitchcock, mate. But so he's going to stab her to death with the mirror glass, but you don't see it because it cuts away. It cuts away. There you go. You hear it, and then it cuts to the foghorn thing. Anyway, a storm's raging. There's having a storm, and There you go. These kids are in for one hell of a storm, not just in terms of weather. Anyway, Jason's coming now and he's picking up another harpoon. He likes harpoons, but this is an oldie worldy harpoon. There we go, from the olden days. Ishmael probably used that in Moby Dick. On the I've got the name of the ship now. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in the middle of the night. Anyway, this is where he's saying to his first mate or whoever he is, saying, "You've got a child, haven't you?" He says, "Yes, as a baby." He says, "Well, don't push him too hard." So we're learning he's not, he's not a bad dad. So he says, "Just take the wheel for a minute," and he's going to go downstairs. And then as he's piloting the boat, Jason comes up. Jason comes up the stairs and gets him with the harpoon. So that's him dead. And the Admiral comes back and finds him. Hang on. Yes, it's not the Magpie. every ship's the Magpie. Something like Quag or something, isn't it? Something like that. I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm gonna have to look it up. Moby Dick. Pequod, that's it. Pequod, Pequod. I don't know how you pronounce it. Yes, it's that one. Yes, I were close. Right, where were we? Right, he finds his dead first mate or whoever he is. That's the native fella's name. I don't know. Are you sure? No, Pequod is a fictional 19th century Nantucket whaling ship that appears in the 1851 novel Moby Dick. Oh yeah, Quee. Quee. Yes, Quee. Whatever is the Native American chap, isn't he? Yes, I know what you mean now. Trying to find it now because you got me wondering. Doesn't say it. Queequeg, that's it. Queequeg is the harpooner, isn't he? Yes. Right, where were we? I thought you said Queek. I did first time. Yes, I did say that first time. Yes, he's the harpooner, isn't he? And the ship's the Pequod or Pequod. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, back to the film. As he's looking at his dead crewman, Jason sneaks up behind him. They do it in slow motion for some reason. Don't know why. They do it in where they when they edit it, they do like two of each frame, so it gives it this like jerky slow motion thing. And they've done it like this, and this is another shot that fell foul of the MPAA. Apparently, they did a few versions. Apparently, according to the director, some more bloody than others, but they went with the bloodless one. As you see, he gets his throat cut. Doesn't even touch him. Look, just puts his head back, and you see a little red line, and that's it. Oh, bloody hell! I hate the MPAA. Over here, it's the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, and they're similar. There's actually a scene in this that the BBFC over here made them take out. There's somebody with like a flick knife or a switchblade or whatever. They were banned along for maybe they still are. I don't know, in the UK. Not even allowed to show them on screen. And anyway, so that bit will cut out. It's back in now, but it will cut out at the time. Anyway, right. So there you go. Right. So they're gonna go home. Yes, they're going home. He goes to the bridge and finds his dad dead, and the other fella, no doubt. So he gets on the intercom. Had to take switchblades out of it. That was like an SNL scene. Yeah, it was rubbish, wasn't it? No, out of it, out of the film. Maybe they did take him out of it, because I think there was one in that, wasn't there? Well, I think there were a flick knife in it, wasn't there? In the original version, in the 1991, I think there were anyway. I don't know. Anyway, they're always taking things out in British, the British Board of Film Classification. That the way, for some reason they don't like stuff like flick knives or switchblades or nunchucks. I think nunchucks are banned. And you can't even use the word ninja, apparently. Over here, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles weren't called that. They have to call them the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. God knows why. I have no idea. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I meant. All right, okay. Just give everyone what? Yes, everyone should have a walkie-talkie. Something I've never really had a walkie-talkie. Even as a kid, I never had a walkie-talkie. I had paper cups with string. That, it's not the same, though, is it? Anyway, right. So he's on the intercom, calling everybody to the bridge. Obviously, everybody doesn't go because there's loads of them, isn't there? There's lots of people on this ship, but we just see these few. All the others, not all of them, but some of the others we see in a bit. But anyway, so they're all got to go to the bridge. So Julius and his mates arrive. They see the dead bodies. He's putting a call out to the Coast Guard. Is Sean saying, "We've got an emergency," and they get through to the Coast Guard. But just as they're about to tell them all about it, there we go. Psh, Jason pulls the wires off the radio thing. So obviously knows what this is. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known what wires to pull out. So he's, he may be undead, but he's smart, isn't he? He's clever. Anyway. So anyway, Uncle Charles arrives, bossing people about, saying, "What's going on here?" and all that. He's saying, "It's Jason Voorhees, we're all going to die," etc. So they've got to decide what they're going to do. And they all decide, well, Julius and his friends decide, well, we're going to get this MFer. He tries to, there we go, he tries to assert his authority, does Charles. But Julius will have nothing of it. So he's going to go and get some weapons and try and bring Jason down. He's off, look. Looking slightly boz-eyed, isn't it? But off he goes. Right, wondering where Rennie is now. She's gone to lower the anchor. Sean told her to lower the anchor for some reason. Don't know. I don't. As I said, I don't know anything about ships, but I don't know where they are. They could be like there could be like 10,000 foot of water below them. For all I know, if they're in the Atlantic heading towards New York, how long's the anchor chain? I don't know. So anyway, she's going to lower the anchor. Jason's watching, and this is actually filmed on the real ship. I don't know if it's on the Lazarus ship or on the other ship that they filmed on. I don't know, but this is the actual anchor control thing that she goes to. So she pulls the lever, and it all starts, and then somebody's approaching her. Oh no, who's this coming towards her? And an axe, and it turns out it's just Uncle Charles. And he stops the anchor going down. And there you go. He said, do you think dropping an anchor in the middle of a storm is the smartest thing to do or whatever? Anyway, makes any sense. I wouldn't know, to be honest. I'm not a sailor. I don't think she knows either. I don't think Sean knows. But anyway, so off they go. Meanwhile, Eva, Kelly Who, comes to Tamara's quarters, cabin, sees the damage, sees Tamara dead. Hang on. There we go. Did she blink then? Oh, I've got to go back now. Did we just see a blink? Just as it came on. As it came on. Hey, let's go back. Oh, idiot. There we go. She blinked just as it came on. Showers. No, all this was on to see if she blinks. Hey. Gasps. Come on, showers. Oh, for God's sake, Gabby. There we go. No, I don't think she did she? Okay, that's poor Tamara dead. You see, he got all glass stuck in her. And they actually filmed this. It's another one, another shot that fell foul of the MPAA. That's actually a wider shot of it with all the glass everywhere in her. They didn't like that either. Because they were saying, they didn't take it out, because, oh, we can't have that, puritanical. They said, if you leave it in, you're going to get an X rating. I don't know. I thought it was NC-17 or something. I don't know. Does it go NC-17 then X in America? I don't know. But if they'd kept all these gory kills in, they'd have got an X rating. I always thought NC-17 were the highest one. I thought just X were just used for like mucky films, adult films and stuff like that. But never mind. Probably they thought kids would play with broken or nunchucks. So there we see what's happened to her. Then she sees Jason's there, so she goes running away. There we go. She ends up in the disco room, rock music playing over speakers. Shall we have a listen? I can't remember what it is. Let's have a listen. There we go. Kind of like, disco rock, I suppose you'd call it, wouldn't you? Let's have to mute it again. So she's panicking, and everywhere she looks, there's Jason standing there. There he is, and she turns around and he's there again. He's there. He's doing his teleporting. All right, NC-17 didn't exist till 1990. All right, well, there's only a year after it. So if they'd have waited to release it a year, they'd have got an NC-17 rating, wouldn't they? Rather than an R. Anyway, right. So she's looking round. Jason's there. There you go. And then he grabs her and throttles her. It's another, a tame death in this one. Just picks her up and throttles her, and then chucks her to the ground. Let me show it. Now, for some reason, in the director's commentary, we're like salivating over this. He says, "Oh, this is great," and he throws her. I presume it's a stunt lady that flops to the ground, but for some reason, the director loved that. I don't know why. Should have pulled her head off or something. It's Jason, for Christ's sake. Anyway, never mind. So that's the end of Kelly Who. Right, so Julius and his gang, and Wayne and whoever he is and whoever they are, him there, in the purple top, he had a bigger role in the film originally. He's supposed to be Sean's best friend. I don't know his name. But apparently he's a Olympic level diver, and he's just in the film because later on in the film he gets chased by Jason, and he goes up a ladder. As you'll see shortly, he goes up a ladder, and then he's supposed to do this like Olympic style dive, and then land on something. But they didn't do that. He does do a dive, but not an Olympic like one. So that's what he's in for. Anyway, they found some weapons, axes, a couple of rifles, and stuff like that. No nunchucks. So off they go. Oh, maybe they are. Is that no? It didn't. So they're off in search of Jason. So Wayne's down in the engine room, and he finds JJ. Remember there with the guitar. Oh no, don't find her just yet. I don't think. He finds Jason first. I think. He's walking down here. As you can see, he wears glasses, walking down here, and it's like the engine room for the Nostromo for some reason. So he's going down here. There you go. He gets got by steam, and it makes his glasses fall off. His glasses fall off down into the depths of the ship. So he can't see now. That's what he sees. Basically, that's what I see without my glasses. So I know how he feels. So hang on, gone too far. And then as he's looking, somebody walks in front of him. He can tell it's not Jason, but he shoots the bugger anyway. So he's killed an innocent person. I think it's that crewman we saw earlier on. You know, that Tamara and Eva were drooling over earlier on. I think it's him. So he looks at him through his camera and focuses his camera. There we go. It's that crewman. In there, kind of looks like Zach Galligan, doesn't he, from Gremlins, that fella. But so it's not ghost again, just a noise behind me. But it want a ghost, don't worry. So he knows he's killed somebody else, but then Jason appears. Hang on. Jason appears. So he runs away, obviously. Then he finds JJ, sees the bloody guitar. See poor JJ with a big, essentially a big hole in her head. There we go. I can't see it. Oh, there we go. A big hole in her head, made by an axe. You know, you get the axe. Because she calls it an axe earlier on in the film. She says, "Is this cool axe?" And it's used as an axe, so he finds her. Then Jason grabs him and throws him into this control panel. And as you see, I think he sets on fire before, well, as soon as he hits the panel. There's a little spark there, look. It's obviously a stunt man. Another little spark there, and then highly combustible jeans. Are you ready? There they go. There you go. His jeans just set on fire for some reason. So he's dead. He's electrocuted and burned. And that's the end of Wayne. It's brought. I didn't know they'd gone off course. Apparently they'd gone off course, but now Sean's brought her back on course somehow. Hang on. Yes, got axed by her axe. He must be a liar. Who must be a liar? See, I've forgotten what I said already. Anyway. Oh, I pants on fire. Yeah, got that one. Yes. I'm dead slow, aren't I? Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yes. Hey. Anyway, that wind grace. Right, so he gets the ship back on course. Meanwhile, Wayne's burning away down in the engine room, and basically the ship catches fire. Caution, fuel, danger, etc. So they're back on course, but then Jason, being health and safety chap, sets off the fire alarm. So there you go. So because he's doing a service, isn't he? So the ship's on fire, so he starts the fire alarm. There you go. What's that? The fire alarm. There you go. The fire's spreading throughout the ship. So what we're going to do now? So Uncle Charles gets the flare gun from his little cabinet where it were in. Says, "I'm going to go and find." He thinks all this is I forgot his name now. The deckhand's work. We're all doomed. That fella. So he's going to go find him and shoot him with the flare gun, I presume. So off he goes. He says, "How do we know there is a fire?" Anyway, right. This chap encounters Jason. He turns around with the axe, and obviously Jason just blocks it, and there you go, throws the axe away. And Julius sees what's happening, so he goes to investigate. So this fella goes running up this ladder. I said he went up a ladder. Jason watches him. He goes up the ladder really fast. Let me show us it going up. Show him. There we go. Earlier on, he was going up really fast. He's obviously a healthy young man. He goes up this ladder, but Jason's faster, obviously. He just stops and looks round. We saw Jason looking up. Stops and looks round. Jason's there, obviously, chucks him off. And he lands on the radio mast thing. So that's the end of whatever his name was. Yes, fire safety test. He's the best safety inspector I know. Anyway, so that's the end of him, whoever he was. Julius comes to investigate, sees his friend. Is it going to show us? Has he seen it? Hang on. Going to see him in a minute. He sees him now. Sees his friend impaled on the radio tower thingamabob. And then Jason grabs hold of Julius and just wangs him off the ship. Off he goes into the water. Not the last time we see him. Spoilers. Right. What's happening now? I can't remember. I think Uncle Charles has locked her in the cabin, and so she's sulking by the porthole, and she sees. Hang on, not that. Oh, for God's sake! Bloody skip! There we go. She sees the image of young Jason looking even more Jason-y. Is this all real, or is it all in her head? It can't be in her head because the dog saw it, unless the dog's psychic and sees what she sees in her head. Don't know, but Jason arrives, headbutts the glass, and tries to grab her, but luckily she just backs up for him. Look, so he can get her by the throat. It's a mandatory joke about this not being in Manhattan yet. No, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're not far off now, actually. We're not that far. Anyway, so he's got hold of her, and this is where the ghost of young Jason's watching with his lazy eye. And this is where the Stephen King's pen comes in, and she stabs him with it in the eye. Pardon me. Stabs him in the eye, and the young Jason just dissolves away for some reason, or disappears. And then, hang on, look. Jason, come on, show us big Jerry's. He pulls it out, and we have a nice bit of goo. Because remember, he's undead. He doesn't have blood, does he? Does Jason? He pulls it out, and just some goo comes out. Right. So, and then the engine room explodes. Boom! There we go. This is the actual engine room in the actual ship, and the director was saying, how did he put it now? He said, that's real. It's not a special effect. And I thought, well, yeah, it is a special effect. So the director doesn't know the difference between special effects and visual effects. But they put some, what they call flash boxes or whatever they call them, in the engine room, blew it up safely. So the ship's going to go down, isn't it? The ship's going down. And yes, the pen is mightier than the eye. Denham Elliott in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The pen is mightier than the sword. Anyway, what was that? The power room, he says. I mean, the engine room, whatever. Right, this is what happens. These others, they come up to Mrs. Van Dyson, or whatever the hell her name is. He says, wait here, I'll come back for you. And presumably this is supposed to be, the rest of the young people, the rest of the graduates. But we're just like 3 of them or something like that. But they're just putting them here for no reason. They're in the restaurant, by the way. He says, wait in, I'll come back for you. Meanwhile, Uncle Charles is still searching for the deckhand. He's in the kitchen. We don't see the chef. I saw the galley. I'm nautical as well. In the galley. The deckhand arrives and he stabs. He stabs Uncle Charles in the arm and then runs off. No blood on the knife, so I didn't really stab him. Not very hard. He runs off. Suddenly, the ship's filling up with water from above. Don't know how, but for some reason, there's loads of water coming from above, not from below. But anyway, it's filling up with water. So they think they're Jack and Kate Winslet, Jack and Rose in Titanic. They've got to go through the water. There you go, the engine room, not the power room, the engine room. It says it on the bloody door there. It bursts open, all water comes in. This was filmed on a set, I think in Los Angeles, I think. And all the water comes bursting in. There we go. Ah! They've got to get out. No. And there we go. They come across Uncle Charles. There you go. Mrs. Van Duysen. I left the others in the restaurant. He just says, there is no restaurant, whatever. There is no more restaurant. How does he know? Where the hell was the restaurant? Below the waterline, obviously. I don't know. But that's just a way to just get rid of everybody else of the ship, isn't it? All the other graduates, they're done for. And we're now down to us core group. They could have just said the others of Colleen, Mrs. Van Dyson said, I've got the rest on the other lifeboat, and they're off to safety now, and then we don't worry about them. But no, they're dead. Or they could have just showed some bodies lying about, with axes in them or knives, or when they show that Jason's been having fun, couldn't they? But no, they didn't. The restaurant is no more, apparently. Right, so they look shocked. Yes, we see the deckhand come round the corner with his knife in his hand, and then he falls over. We see he's got an axe in his back, so Jason's got him. I presume it's Jason. Then lightning strikes the boat. Look cool. 80s lightning. So they're getting in the lifeboat, so they're going down. This was filmed in that. Remember that wave tank in Vancouver. This was filmed in that. They built the side of the boat. I think he said 50 foot or something. Side of the boat, and filmed this in that wave tank. Off they go. Then Julius. They see Jason arrives. Come on. Where are you? Oh, never mind. He does in a minute. He did. Jason were there watching them, but they get away. But then Julius arrives in a minute. Here he is. So he's still alive. He climbs aboard the rowing boat. Off they go. And then we cut to the director. Several days have passed, or at least 2 days, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they've got some supplies in the lifeboat, some crackers or whatever. I don't know. But they seem okay, and it's a bit foggy now. And they're hoping that Sean is guiding them to New York. So yeah, and they're not doing well. But Uncle Charles is still moaning. He was checking on his computerized GPS thing, and but then they another passage of time. It's night time now, but then they've arrived. There we go. Julius is happy. Wake up. They've arrived. Showers. Then there you go. They've arrived at New York. As I said, they actually got in a rowing boat and filmed these shots from a rowing boat. Just instead of using stock footage. So there we go. We actually did see the Statue of Liberty as well. Let me show us it. Show us the Statue of Liberty. Come on, show the Statue of Liberty. That's not much showing it, is it? Come on, show us. Oh, for God's sake, stupid bloody film. There we go. There, I knew it showed it. There we go. So they've arrived at New York. Right. So, and then as soon as they get to New York, we're back in Vancouver again. This bit we filmed in Vancouver. This dock. So they arrive here. So they climb up and go looking for help. But they don't get very far. And look who's arrived. How did he get there? Did he walk on the bottom of the sea? Was he hanging on underneath the water of the rowing boat? Did they not notice that there been something were dragging? I don't know. But he's arrived. As I said, he teleports, doesn't he? He teleports, does Jason. I presume the Lazarus has sunk. It's at the bottom of the sea now, I presume. We don't hear about it again. So, there you go. He stops, watches them going away, and then he cocks his head like that. And there you go. Because he's looking at that, a big billboard for Eastern Hockey League. So, there you go. Oh, cool. Right, so they think they're safe, but they're not, are they? All these alley scenes were filmed in Vancouver or whatever. So they're getting mugged by these chaps that we saw at the beginning. For some reason, lots of Save Ethiopia Relief Fund crates here, headed for Addis Ababa. I don't know why they've decided to put those there. Maybe, because it was the 80s, wasn't it? It was still a thing. Anyway, so they're getting mugged. So, and they take Rennie away to do unspeakable things to her. They say if they interfere, they'll blow her head off. So there we go. So they decide to split up. Julius wants to go and get them. And Uncle Charles says, no, they threatened to kill her. And he says, the best thing we should do is split up. Yeah. But no. So there's the split up. Look for the police. This is the necklace that Sean gave Rennie. So he picks that up. So they're going to take Rennie and they give her some drugs. I think it's some cocaine or something like that. I don't bloody know. They give her something to relax her. So while he's going to get down to have some fun, the other chap's gone off to get some more drugs. But then a certain burly man arrives. Squelch is there, picks up the what do they call it? Hypodermic. I nearly said hypodermic needle. Hypodermic needle. Picks that up and gets this fella through the back. And there's another shot. Another shot that was more gory, but they tamed it down. His hand was supposed to come all the way through the fella, all gory and bloody, but they just went with that. Just went with that instead. Oh, Jason saves Rennie in that instance. Yes, this needle is a health violation. Yes, it is. It is. Bloody druggies. So he saved Rennie then, didn't he? He saved. So good old Jason. He's a hero. Anyway, the other lad comes back and says, "Who are you?" And then pulls his gun out, starts shooting Jason. Look, obviously that's not going to stop him. Jason grabs hold of him. Their gun clicks. Gets hold of him. Another tame kill. Just bashes his head here. Just bashes his head on that pipe. Yawn, boring. No blood spraying or anything, or rubbish. Anyway, so Rennie takes the opportunity to run off, and Jason obviously in pursuit. Right, this is Julius has found a phone. He's trying to phone the police. Obviously, Jason arrives. Hang on. Come on, Jason, bloody hell. Jason arrives, smashes the window. This is actually the scene. I think it happened there. I think the only injury in the film, the real injury. The actor, I forgot his name. VC, I think. VC. Where are we? Yeah, VC Dupree. Vincent Craig Dupree played Julius. He actually cut his hand open on this glass, and it had to be, obviously put in the accident book. The only one in the film. Although later on, when he does some boxing, remember he's a pugilist, boxing with Jason, and they actually say he did actually hurt his hand doing that because they did multiple takes and they were really hitting him, and Said he got all swollen and cut on his knuckles. But obviously, that mustn't have gone in the accident book, but this did. So, anyway. So off he goes, running off, climbs up there, they end up on a rooftop. I don't know if this is New York or Vancouver, but it's overlooking this street. I don't know. There we go. And they end up fighting. So he's laying into to Jason. The wide shots, by the way, the close-ups of that VC Dupree chap. The wide shots are an actual boxer, apparently. And Kane Hodder was saying for the wide shots that the actual boxer knew to like pull his punches and stuff, so he wasn't really hitting him hard. But he said in the close-ups, VC Dupree were actually really hitting him. And he says it starts hurting after a while because there was something like 66 punches and multiple takes. And he said, I were aching. And so were VC Dupree. Actually, he was actually exhausted, apparently, and could hardly, hit him. As he looks in the film, he's tired, more tired than missing him. And actually, it was kind of like that anyway in real life because of multiple takes. There you go. He said he could hardly stand. Anyway, so obviously he's not doing anything to Jason, and he's all exhausted. There we go. And he says to Jason, "Give it your best shot." Jason gives it his best shot, and that's what happens. Knocks his head clean off. A clean break as well. But never mind. It's another one of the director's favourite shots coming up. There we go, that. He decided he wanted not VC, Julius's point of view, because obviously when you're decapitated, your head doesn't die immediately. So he wanted to see what Julius was seeing as his head went spinning to oblivion. Anyway, ended up in a dumpster. There we go. Doom, and it closes. There we go. So that's the end of Julius. Right, what's she doing? Oh, yes, she's wandering away from yes, Don't Lose Your Head. Highlander. That was in New York, wasn't it? Right, so she's all what's the word? She's a bit stoned from that injection they gave her. But she's all woozy. But then Sean finds her, so they've got to go and find the others. This is Colleen. There you go. Charles and the copper find her. So everybody's safe, apart from the dead ones. And he says, "Thank God I found you." But then she goes straight to Mrs. Dupree. I forgot, Van Dyson, not Dupree. Van Dyson goes straight to her. Excuse me. Drinky pops. Goes straight to her. Because she doesn't like Uncle Charles, even though he's raised her since from childhood. Right, so he's going to take them, to safety. So they all get in the police car, and they've got to find Julius. Well, they do find Julius. There he is, all screaming. There we go. Julius's head is in the car, so the copper, gets his radio out. By the way, previously we're talking to him, and it doesn't sound very. See if I can find it. It doesn't sound very New York. I wonder if he's a Canadian actor. I'll go back a little bit more. Here we go. I'll have to mute it again, won't I? Is this a New York accent? I don't know, but you tell me.
You're right. I find it a tall tale indeed, but you seem like honest folks, so I'm inclined to believe at least some of what you say. Yeah, well.
Did that sound like a New York accent? I don't know. Sounds a bit Canadian to me. Not that I know much about Canadians, but I bet he would forced himself not to say "a" at the end of it, didn't he? And a boot. Anyway, whatever. Right, so we find Julius. There we go. So he tries to call for help, but then Jason grabs him, drags him off, and Rennie jumps into the. Sounds like Bill Murray. Rennie jumps into the driver's seat and knocks down, hits the gas, as you see there. Good job, Julius's head. By the way, we saw Julius's head fall off the dashboard. Good job it didn't fall into the footwell on that side, isn't it? But anyway, she hits the gas and knocks down Jason. He's fine. We've seen him be shot and everything, haven't we? And he's fine. And she's spaced out still, so she crashes the car. Slow motion. There it is. She crashes the car, so they all get out. But see, they run away and they say, "Oh, what's happened to Colleen?" That's what's happened to Colleen. Miss Van Dyson, Dooson, Colleen. I presume she's blown up. She could have got out the other side for all we know and run off in the other direction. But I don't know. We presume she's blown up in that fireball. Right, so now she has another little interlude. There's Rennie. I don't know it is Rennie, R-E-N-N-I-E. So it is Rennie. Exactly. I think it should be Renee, but it's Rennie. What's Rennie short for? No idea. Anyway, she looks down at this a burning puddle. There you go. She looks down this burning puddle, and then we see this little rowboat appear. And this effect were actually done by the great Jim Danforth, who's more famous for his stop motion stuff. He did like stuff whatchamacallit, when dinosaurs ruled the earth, and I think and in the original Clash of the Titans, he was responsible for animating Pegasus in that. He's done loads of other stuff as well. I think Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe, I think that was a Jim Danforth one as well. I could be wrong. Anyway, he did this little effect here, apparently. She's having a flashback anyway. Right, so there we go. We're having a flashback. They're on Camp Crystal Lake, and this is young Rennie and slightly younger Uncle Charles. She's having a swimming lesson, and this is where we learn why she's afraid of the water. And he's telling her, "You've got to learn to swim." And he tells her, "Oh, you'll end up like that Voorhees boy." And he's still at the bottom of this lake, and he drags down any child who doesn't learn how to swim, because he's an idiot, is Uncle Charles. But anyway, there you go. Don't end up drowning like that Voorhees boy. So he pushes her in. There you go. Pushes her in the water. "I can't swim." I say, "Well, you'll have to swim." "I'll drown." "No, well, swim." But then she gets pulled under. There you go. By the editor's son with a mask on, looking more like we know him. But when we saw him earlier, he was not as deformed and manky, was he? But whatever. So that's why she's afraid. That's why she's not keen on her Uncle Charles. But and that's why she's afraid of the water. But there we go. So then she must be just remembering this. I think earlier on she said she can't even remember why she's afraid. And now she's remembered it. It's all come flooding back. "You push me in the water." And Sean calls him, son of a bitch and all that. "That was trying to teach you," etc. There you go. And then he said, "I pulled you out, I saved your life," after he pushed her in. What a knobhead. Anyway. So they walk away. "Yeah, just keep away from her," he says. Anyway, so they walk away. All right, then they pushed him onto this hamster bedding. So he's lying there, fed up. But Jason comes up to him, and so he runs off. Oh, we see him running away from Jason here now. He runs into this. Jason, obviously, is behind him, pursuing him. But he does a bit of teleporting again. So he goes running into this, into that door there. So he's obviously going up some stairs. They should have sound effects or something, shouldn't they, in this film? As he goes up the stairs, and then he comes flying out this window. This window that oddly looks nothing like any of the other windows around it. It's been replaced by sugar glass or whatever. But there he goes. Out the window. But he's fine. He's fine. Even though he's just fallen, I don't know, 15 feet, and not an old man, probably about my age or whatever, maybe a little bit older, not as grey, but Jason's there. Look, he's obviously teleported again. And then Jason, he gets up, and then Jason's there and grabs hold of him. And here we see the barrel that we saw earlier on at the beginning of the film with the rat in. Presume that's the same rat. It's now dead. I presume it's a rubber rat. Anyway, so filled with toxic waste or whatever, horrible stuff. And there you go. Jason picks him up, dunks him in it, and actually did a real stuntman went in there, and yes, it's Splinter. Yeah, from the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, as we knew them when I was a kid. Not that I really watched them. So that's the end of Uncle Charles. He's been drowned in a barrel of something not nice. Right, so there you go. It's found. She's having a sit down. Oh, you can't see. She's having a sit down on a chair that's just in the middle of the of the alley, but whatever. So she's all sad. She says, "Everybody I know dies," and he says, "But that's not going to happen now." He says to her, and I watch her thinking, apart from everybody else in the film that's bloody died, there's only you two left. Everybody's dead. But it's not going to happen now. There you go. Oh, that's learning that her parents died in a car accident. And then she says, everybody I know dies. It's not going to happen now. So they have a kiss. But then Jason, the ultimate gooseberry, he arrives. They go running off. And so we ever get to, it's supposed to be Manhattan now, but they actually do get to Times Square in a bit. So they're entering the subway. They go through the door. Jason just goes through the glass because he's Jason. So they get on the subway. This is actually in Vancouver. The director was saying Vancouver subways are lovely. There's no graffiti on them at all. So they had to get these. They had to graffiti up these Vancouver subway cars. Anyway, they're running through, but obviously Jason's got on board. He's got on board. There you go. They're chasing them down the carriage. Jason's shoving stunt women out of the way. They get to the end. We actually see a little bit of graffiti here. I don't know where he is. But can you see it? Oh, hang on. See it again in a minute. He pulls the emergency brake. Move your arm, man. Pulls the emergency brake. There we go. Right, move your arm. Only see this bit of graffiti. Tell everybody about it. For crying out loud. They've run off now. He gets back up. There we go. Oh, see, we got there in the end. It says there, Jason lives. So a little nod to Friday the 13th. 6. Yeah, part 6, Jason lives. So there you go. What's that graffiti say? Yes, it says Jason lives. What else we got? I think that says, I don't know, Helter Skelter, Animal. So these are song titles. A bit of Def Leppard, bit of Beatles. Yeah, I'm sure all the graffiti that they've written has some sort of, double meaning. Right, so they've got off the train. Now it's stopped. So Jason goes after them, and Sean pushes Jason onto the tracks, and he gets all electrocuted. But Sean doesn't get electrocuted, and I don't know why. As you can see, we'll see in a minute. So Jason's on the tracks there, getting electrocuted. Then we see Sean. There, he's on the. He's not. Why isn't he getting electrocuted? I don't know. He's fine. So they think, is Jason dead? Electricity doesn't kill Jason, does it? No, it doesn't. But they think, right, we're getting out now. Oh, this bit here. They're on this traffic island in the middle of Times Square. They are actually there. But it doesn't have a subway entrance on that traffic island. So they built one here. They built this little barrier here, and the crouch down behind it, and they're just like, you know, do that way you pretend to go up or downstairs behind the couch sort of thing. They do that. Are you ready? Are you ready? So here they come. Look, pretending to go up some stairs. Anyway, so they are actually in Times Square now. So here we go. This is where they're actually filming. When I say it, like I say it for every time I see a horse and carriage in New York, is this the one off Ghostbusters? I don't know. Or the other one. We saw it on another film, didn't we, where it was by itself, and I can't remember what film it was. Never mind. Anyway, McDonald's, Panasonic, that's lots of adverts, lots of product placement, you could say, I suppose. And this fella's got no pants on. Have you noticed? Oh, let's go back again. Go back again. This fella that walks past here on the right, I hope you can see him, in the flat cap there. Is he a flasher? I wonder if he's a flasher, because he's got his Mac on, this chap here. There's no pants. Have you noticed? Look. So he's going to go off flashing somebody into bet. I bet he is. I bet that's what he's going to be. He's a flasher. Anyway, right. So they're in Times Square. We see all the billboards and neon signs, etc., and the Batman logo there in the background. We get a nice pan round because they're getting their money's worth of it, of the Times Square experience. Oh, I think there. Anyway, so they set off walking, and but she turns round and she sees Jason's there. Obviously, there you go. That's when she sees him through the crowd. Oh no, he's there! So they go running off, and Jason comes through, and here we go. They're listening to their music. Jason obviously is not into their hip hop. Smashes their boombox, ghetto blaster, I think the term was back in the day. Smashes it up. So this is the scene actually that were cut. This lad here now, him, he gets out. I don't know, flick knife switch, but I don't know what they bloody call them. This knife, they had to cut out. I think about 1 second that bit. That bit. Put that out in the UK for the initial release. It's back in now, obviously, because I'm looking at it, but they originally cut that out. Anyway, so they say to him, "Oh, you're a dead man, sucker," or whatever. So he just shows him his face. Oh, they've run off now already. There you go. Shows him his face. And they go, "It's okay, man. It's cool," and run off. So he carries on. Right, they run into this diner. And we meet the director's sister in real life. And she says, "Look out, there's a maniac trying to kill us." She says, welcome to New York. That's what she says. There you go. Welcome to New York. But then Jason does arrive, smashes through the door. Here he goes. And this is where we meet another Jason. Is it a butterfly knife? Is that what they call them? I don't know. I'm British, not into weapons. We don't have weapons in Britain. Even though we conquered the world, we did it with niceness. Anyway, whatever. Right. So Jason comes in. This is where we meet another Jason. This fella here, I think. Yes, it is. Oh, I missed it. Good too far. Here he is. This is Ken Kurtzinger, who is absolutely massive. You can see how big he is compared to Kane Hodder, who's not a little fella by any means, but obviously he's playing the cook or whatever. There you go. And Jason just picks him up and chucks him into the window. By the way, Ken Kurtzinger would play Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. And I think he played Jason in this in a couple of shots. You know, in several shots in this film. But he played Jason, all the time in Freddy vs. Jason. Anyway, so there you go. It throws him into the mirror. The director said that Kane Hodder actually did throw him he had a bit of assistance from a springboard or whatever, but he did actually, hoik him into the mirror because he's quite strong. He's Kane Hodder because he's a buff fella. Stuntman, actor, and director Kane Hodder, isn't he? Because he's done a lot. Anyway, so I like this bit where he walks past and he looks at the waitress here, the director's sister. He's like terrified, but I just like the way he looked at her and then carried on. She's got away with it. Right, so they're running for their lives and they get through into this alley. I don't know if we're still in New York, by the way, in real life. Probably not. They get into this alley, but Jason's there, so they go down, as you can see there. You see it there. There's an open manhole. So that's maintenance access hatch, or whatever you call them these days. They were manholes when I was a kid. So they go down there. I'd have been, I'm not going down there. It'll smell of poo and wee and all that stuff. But they go down. Obviously, Jason follows them. So they're running through all the, sewer tunnels. And they come across a fella in a minute. Here he is, I think. There he is. Some maintenance worker. And he says, "What are you doing down here?" I said, "We're running for his lives. How do we get out?" He says, "Well, not a minute too soon. They're going to flush the pipes with toxic waste." Is that a thing? Don't know. But apparently every day he says they flush the sewer pipes with this toxic waste. And it's about to happen in a few minutes. So they get to this exit. Obviously, Jason's there. There we go. And he gets the maintenance man. He's been knocked out, by the way. Oh, never mind. He gets the maintenance man waxing with his adjustable spanner in shadow form. Another thing you don't see. He's about to whack Sean. Look, and there you go. She shines a light at him. That'll distract him. So he goes after her instead. Look, got toxic waste there. Danger, toxic, something, a chemical in a pipe. She's thrown that on him. That's it. She's thrown that on him, and the guy goes, "Ah!" And he whips off his mask. And then we see his face. He looks he's all scary looking. So she gets Sean up because she's a girl boss. She's the hero now, not him. Meanwhile, Jason's not looking well. Look, his face is almost falling off. So he's lurching down the tunnel. And they're climbing up. And I think we can hear the rumble of the toxic waste coming, I think. There's the pipes are going to get flushed. And Jason arrives and grabs hold of Rennie's leg. And there we see him. He's all melting. And then, and this bit, Kane Hodder's still under there, by the way. They'd had him drinking lots and lots of water. I don't know how much exactly, but lots and lots of water, and had him vomit it back up. So he's actually doing that. It's not like a tube or something spraying it out. That's actually coming from Kane Hodder's guts. Had him, vomit essentially, projectile vomit. There's probably some carrots in there as well somewhere. Anyway, all the toxic waste thing comes and flushes Jason. There you go. He's in getting flushed, and he's down there somewhere. I think he pops up in a minute. As they're looking, we see his face is all melting. I'm melting. What a world! What a world! He's screaming, but then for some reason he catches fire. I don't know why. For God's sake. But then when it all calms down in a minute. Yes, this bit. Lightning. 1980s visual effects lightning strikes the Statue of Liberty. There you go. That's going to come to life now, like it did in Ghostbusters 2. But this time it's, evil, and it's going to rampage across New York, maybe. But I don't know why they showed that. Maybe it's a reference to the original, not the original, the beginning of the film where we saw Jason brought back to life with electricity, didn't we? So, and he was brought back to life by lightning in part 6, wasn't he? Jason Lives. But anyway, I don't know why they've shown that. But anyway, as the waters retreat, there we go, we see a hand, and they look down, and there we go. He's reverted back to a young child. Apparently, the director they thought this might have actually been the last film in the series. They're always saying that, aren't they? But so the director says, well, can they do like a bookend? And we have it so it was at the end of the first film. Well, in the first film, we saw young Jason. So at the end of this, can we see young Jason again? He's passed away now. He's gone back to his innocent form. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense, does it? But that's what it is. So Jason's dead, but he's not, there it shows the just a fade out of the mask. The mask's floating on the water. There we go. The fade to back to New York. That's in New York here, and I think they're just off Times Square. I think. He's giving her the Statue of Liberty necklace back. So they're embracing. Oh, and then the director was saying, then we've got to think now that Jason's coming to get them. And I thought, because we've got this POV shot. I thought, he's on his hands and knees or something? I don't know. Because obviously, it's not Jason. The bloody dog, in it. The dog's fine. It ran off earlier on. I forgot to mention that. Those baddies, though, that mugged them, they tried to shoot the dog and it ran off. But now it's back. And so everything's cool and lovely. And we pull back. There we're going to Times Square, getting the money's worth. Getting the money's worth. The film ends. There we go. And I like it. I like that film. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's fine. I mean, he did get to Manhattan. He didn't really take it, did he? But he gave it a good go. And he killed a few people in Manhattan. So fair enough. Fair enough. So that's the end of Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. I really like that film. I don't know why people say it's rubbish. I don't know why at all. It's good. It's fun, which is the point of it, isn't it? Obviously, Jason returns in the next one, which is, I can't remember. Is it Jason Goes to Hell after this? Part 9? I can't actually remember. I think it is, isn't it? And then it's Jason X. And I think in the next one, they just forget that this one happened, don't they? Because I think in the next one, it's just just come across. I think Jason's body's just there. I can't actually remember what happens at the beginning of Part 9. I'll have to check it. But it's a weird one, isn't it? Part 9. It's a weird one. Is that the one where it shows it's in the same universe of Evil Dead because it's the Necronomicon's in it? It's a funny one. Is Part 9, isn't it? What do you mean he's behind you? Don't say things. Don't say things. Because this house, he might behave. Oh, why is there? Look. Yes, he is behind me. I forgot about that. Right. So we'll leave it there. Hang on. Right. So Josh says, so what I take from this film is if you bathe in toxic waste in the New York sewers and catch on fire, it's the fountain of youth. Essentially, yeah. Although you're dead. Well, presume he's dead. He might still be living down there in some X-Files episode. Maybe he's the fluke man or something like that. I don't know. But anyway. Yes. So it's a good film. I like it. I like Jason Takes Manhattan. It's one of my favourites, even though it's a bit duff in it, but I do enjoy it. For some reason, I've got a soft spot for it. Right. We'll leave it there. What's coming up next? Right. What are we on Friday? So Sunday is my news stream. I'll dig some news out, I suppose. Monday, I forgot what I'm doing on Monday. Oh, my Hellboy, isn't it? Where are we? There we go. Mondays, Magnificent Mondays is this week is Hellboy, the Ron Perlman one. Then what? I can't remember what I'm doing next. Oh, yes. And then next week's Friday night appointment with Fear. I think it is. I think I've picked that. I think I've picked Splice. Yes. Anyway, whatever. Right. So we'll leave it there. I can hear my son. I can hear my son at the top of the stairs, huffing and puffing. I can hear him. So we'll have to leave it there. Right. So thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll say there.